Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes. I am Jason Bates, and I'm going to bring you the lender side of things for today's show. And he is Stephen Cotton. He's going to bring us the realtor side of things. Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot.
Yep. Robot Realtor.
Robot Realtor.
Ask me about the bathrooms.
And together, we hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you some valuable content that you can actually use when you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property. So if you're looking to do any of that, please reach out to us. We'd love to be your team of choice. If you're new to the show, we do this Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Arizona time, so be sure to check out the live episode. If you can't join us live, that's okay. You can always check out the replays on YouTube as well. Be sure to like our page if you would, if you're visiting our webpage. Our Facebook page, and on YouTube, be sure to give us that thumbs up and share with your friends and family who might be looking to get into the real estate world. Also, if you'd like to participate in the show, I'm always doing this backwards here. You can always write your comments on the Facebook post, and they will show up here at the bottom of the screen. It's a great way for you to participate in the show. So don't be bashful. Participate. Participation is good.
Yeah.
Right?
We're doing pretty good this week with Brian and Brian last week. A different Brian last week.
Yeah.
Pete. Remember Pete?
Pete, yeah.
Pete, Bruce, a lot of B's really. I mean, I wish Pete had a B in his name, but Bruce, Brian, and Brian.
Yeah. Hey, we always do a tweet quote of the day, so let's get to that, and then we're going to reflect on this week in real estate that was, and then we'll get into some of the numbers here for you. All right, let's do it. Ooh, hey, quick one there. All right, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
Oh my goodness.
So I thought of this or I like this tweet from Steve Jobs here because I think that, we're going to talk about it here a little bit in the numbers here or whatever, but we keep on hearing a lot of negativity out there when it comes to real estate, and you end up kind of believing some of the negativity and then not living your life and doing what you feel is best for you. And that may be putting off a home purchase or other things, or maybe saving up, or whatever it may be. But in relation to real estate, putting off that home purchase until maybe next year, I say, and I know Stefan says, don't do that.
So stop. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Stop. Collaborate and listen.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
That's what a quote from Vanilla Ice. Tweet quote of the day from Vanilla Ice.
Hey, Vanilla Ice. Do you watch that Vanilla Ice project?
I've seen a couple, and it seems like the ones I've seen, it was like he's a little shady because he's like trying to do stuff with the lights off, like stealing neighbors' plants or something.
Oh.
That's the one I saw.
Okay, well, he did get caught doing that a couple years ago or whatever. It's a little staged. It's a little kooky. It's a little kindergarten-y kind of thing or whatever. But the finished product is pretty spectacular. So he's got some good taste. I'll give him that for sure.
Do you think it's his taste?
I don't. It's kind of I think so. He's got kind of an artistic flavor to him, if you will. Yeah. His ninjas are out there doing all the remodel.
That's what he calls them.
That's what he calls them. His ninjas.
Go ninja, go. He wrote that song about 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all of his stuff. So get in where you fit in. That's where he always says too. That's my rap for the day. Hey, why don't you start us off with reflecting on the week that was? I know you had some stuff you'd like to reflect on.
I do. I like it when you start. Yeah, I do. But let me go back to the week that was.
Well, I will say we lost a little bit of an icon this week. It's when we talk about real estate, the Playboy Mansion, right? So that's a big piece of real estate there in Los Angeles. Is that place going to go up for sale? Have you heard anything about that since he's passed? Or didn't it sell?
Sure
Maybe it did sell.
Yeah, I think he owned it still, but I think there's probate and stuff that's involved. Probably trying to figure out how to sell it or who can sell it. First off, who owns it?
Yeah.
The stuff is so soon, so usually they do it. It's too soon, I think, to say. But would you buy a house that's haunted by a creepy old man
No.
that
It
might
would
walk
it would
walk
turn
into your
into a
showers?
museum for me, or some kind of touristy, Elvis
Yeah,
Presley kind of
right.
thing or whatever. And maybe it will anyway. But the other thing too that I wanted to kind of reflect on was the tax reform. Right, tax reform was kind of released this week. There was a
Yeah,
big kind of uncertainty, if you will, about mortgage interest tax deduction. Looks like that's staying in place from what I see.
yeah,
Doesn't look like they're messing with it at all. There was a lot of articles that we had read here on the show that says that may modify it a little bit, not necessarily get rid of it, but modify it. Doesn't look
yeah.
like they're doing anything with it, at least so far.
And then I think one of the other things we really talked about was the stepping back of the Fed from the mortgage-backed securities or the government-backed.
Yes.
Really,
And we
and
said
how much?
that, 6 months ago, when everybody said,
Yeah,
oh, you better refinance and buy now because rates are going to be 5% by the end of the year. And I said, whoa, wait on, hold on here a second.
yeah.
And it hasn't happened. So, yeah, that's a big one too. In fact, rates may even come down from what some analysts are predicting now, which is
Is it good?
not. I mean, it's good. It's good. But for people now who are buying, they may. We talked about the tweet quote of the day, holding off. Well, now
Yeah,
there's another excuse. Let's hold off until rates come down.
yeah.
Don't do it. Buy now.
If they if they drop down like a quarter of a point, is that what you're thinking, or half a point? What do you think if they drop it?
I don't. I couldn't even begin to
I
speculate
mean,
on what it would be.
do you think it'll get below 4?
Well, with some, I will say this: with some lenders out there, I have seen even below 4.
Okay,
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 depends on the program, depends on your credit profile, how much money you're putting down, that sort of thing too. Um, but I have seen some companies starting to stretch below that 4. There's always a ceiling, like you know. You buy something for $1.99 versus $2. It just feels better, right? So
yeah,
there are companies out there who are trying to get below that 4 mark
yeah.
to get the 3.99 or 3.875 or something like that because it just feels better.
So how about
So,
this? How about this? How about when your company or your whatever your rates, the rates
hmm
that go around
hmm
get below 4%,
hmm
we just do a huge blowout sale here on the 22 minutes. Get your loans now. Call anybody. You can call me. I have these rates. Call somebody.
well, I will say this too. You can get below 4 right now. It's just a matter of cost, right? So
Right.
if you want to pay to get down there, you certainly can do
Who
that.
wants
And
to
there's,
pay?
yeah,
Nobody
no
wants to
one
pay.
wants to pay. They want it free, man. I want it free. I want a
Yeah,
free house.
that's what I'm saying.
Um, yeah. Yeah, so there are people out there or companies out there advertising below 4, but there are costs associated to get down there for the most part.
I think one of the things I can reflect on too is different underwriting requirements
Yeah, good point.
because we've had issues with some underwriting that don't allow something,
hmm
but then we go bring it over to your new company, and it's like, no, that's not a problem at all.
This is
You
where
know?
the political thing gets.
Yeah.
I feel it gets political. Anyway, so what Stefan's referring to, we have a client together at my previous company, and for me as a loan officer, I want to give the client the best experience I possibly can. So switching a loan when a loan officer changes companies, switching a loan in midst of trying to close a loan is not. It can be a little frightening for the client and it can be a little dangerous overall. So I elected to leave a file with my previous company, and unfortunately, previous company, and this is where I think it gets a little political, said no, we're not going to do the deal. And so I took it to my new company, and they said, yeah, we'll do this deal. And so
Right.
that's what Stefan's kind of referring to. And I feel like because I'm not there, they're not going to support my efforts. Therefore, now can I prove that? Of course not.
Right.
And if I confronted them with that, they would deny until they die, right? But the reality is, I think that there is some political jousting going on there. Like he's
Yeah.
not here, why should we step out on a limb for him? And in all fairness, it is a little bit, it's not a stretch per se, but
Yeah.
um, it's not your normal situation, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Under some underwriters allow it, and it's not. You say it's political. I just say I don't know how many banks would allow it, or how many lenders would allow it, and how many wouldn't. I don't think it's 100% of them would, except for your older company.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think the underwriting, when you get a loan, when you have to present. It's pretty funny because I was having this conversation with my mom. She was here this week, and her sister was having a little frustrations with a loan. But you turn in your taxes, you turn in your pay stubs, you turn in your bank statements. That's what we like to start with, and then that leads to questions. Question here, question there, and then you're like, oh, now I have to answer these questions. Now we need a letter of explanation for this amount or whatever happened to this. So it's not just those first file and the credit score that gets the loan. It's the stuff that happens along the way. That how did you get to this spot? That some underwriters need more explanation. Some underwriters are okay with, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I feel like your newer company is a little bit more not lenient, but more open to discussion on what this means, or
this is
a safe buyer.
Yeah, it's a great conversation piece, because even within underwriting, when I talk to underwriters, there are certain underwriters who kind of get it or have the experience, I guess, to know, and then there's others that don't have the experience and not willing to, take that leap of faith. Because and this is what's kind of hard, I think, for the public to kind of understand, is that there are gray areas within underwriting, and then you have to use your best judgment on certain interpretations of things. And this is where I think HUD and Fannie, Freddie kind of leave these guidelines out there, because they want underwriters to kind of do their job. They want them to interpretate risk and leave certain things as, as an example, if you have somebody who's paying $2,000 a month in rent and their mortgage payment is going to be $1,500 a month in rent, well, why wouldn't they make that payment if you got a history of somebody making $2,000 a month? And when they're making that payment and now they're going less, so we're reducing the overall debt load, then the underwriter should be willing to, walk that edge a little bit when it comes to maybe debt to income ratio, maybe job time, maybe other things that otherwise may be a contributing factor to delinquency.
That's a great example. I mean, so many times I have a renter at $1,300. Well, you can afford this house. If you bought this house, it'd be $1,100 or $1,150.
Right.
If you bought the like model, because $1,300 a month rent versus what you can pay for it now.
Right.
And that should be a no-brainer.
It should
be
a
you're
no-brainer.
paying less. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, hey, that's the week that was. Let's get into some of these numbers here, shall we? Let me pull it up here, and we'll merge it right over here and bring this up here. Hopefully this will kind of, here, let me get it centered here for us. So we always start off with this active listings here, measured daily.
Give us an idea.
Yeah, it gives us a
16,409 minutes. Is not the song. I don't know.
Yeah, what is that song?
Yeah, I don't know the words. I messed it up. But 16,409 active listings. How many of them are normal? How many of them are condos? How many of them are single family detached? We're going to break down those numbers now. So 16,036 are. So only 400. Less than 400 are either distressed, short sales, foreclosures.
Yeah.
Now, out of that 16,000, how many of them are homes and not condos or townhouses? 13,363. So that's in Maricopa County, the whole Maricopa County. Well, that's all of the counties. Okay. Oh, Maricopa is just under 12,000.
Just under 12,957.
Yep.
Now, some people may say, well, what are these bumps here, Stefan? What are these? Why is it going up and down like a saw blade here?
Yeah, science. The answer. No, I'm just kidding. The answer is because this is daily, right? So these numbers change daily. So, and these, you can kind of tell the weeks, right? I think these are each one's a week. If we scroll down, can you scroll down to the bottom so we can see the screen? Oh, it does say the date on there. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, the dates are up here.
Yeah, so each day there's a different number. So each day they monitor it. So the 24th, which was Sunday, has more listings than on the 25th. Because on the 24th, if you put new houses on the market, you might not be accepting deals until Tuesday or Wednesday. People list their houses over the weekends, and that kind of adds up a little higher. So that's why. I think you can go through there, and each one of those would be the Sunday of the week. The top part.
And then Wednesday, Thursday would be the low point of it.
Yep.
But still, if you look even at the tips here, it looks like listings are kind of trending up here a little bit, right? Overall. So 12,154, 12,078, 12,022, so overall it's starting to trend up a little bit, which is pretty common, I think, for this time of year.
Well, and we talked about that too. One of the things we did last week or the week before was compared it annually where we're at,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we had 50 less houses than we did a year ago at this time, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was like 50 houses less than that a year before. So it's not like 50 houses out of the millions of homes that are here is
Right.
very minute. But
Now this chart here, I wanted to kind of share with everybody. We talked a little bit about
bubble.
delinquency and bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stefan and I hear this quite often. So I want to kind of show the delinquency rate here. Now, granted, this is a little bit outdated. I don't think that this report comes out, like the other ones daily or anything like that.
Right.
But it's going to give us a pretty good idea of what's going on here. So we got Arizona on here and we got the U.S. Let me take out Mississippi and
Well,
North Dakota.
yeah. Okay. We'll go over that later. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get on that later. So right here, on average here, our delinquency rate is 3.4% versus the U.S. at 5.1. So we're pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is an indicator of jobs and the micro economy, or whatever you call it here locally, the local economy. And I think this is good. This is a good, healthy sign for Arizona. And you can see I mean, when did it cross the?
Yeah. Your picture's in the way. Can you scroll over a little bit?
Yeah, sorry.
Let's see when. Okay. Look at that.
Yeah, in April 2011. Looks like when that
So,
came out.
16% way back when, right? That's the highest.
Yeah,
16.3% of the loans. So one out of every 6 loans.
yeah. Now it's quite low. So this is a healthy, when you talk about bubble. Now the bubble is not necessarily in delinquencies. I think a lot of people are thinking about, well, bubble is in price, right?
Right.
The price and the wages and things like that. So, and I think we have, because if I click on the tab here, this tells a first-time home buyer or first loan delinquencies, but not in foreclosure. We're still, the blue line here, we're still way below 3.1.
Yeah.
Percentage of first home loans in foreclosure, actually in foreclosure. That means they're generally about 90 days delinquent or more. You can see that that's even trending lower. I mean, look at that, 0.3% in Arizona versus
So people are still affording the houses that they're in.
yeah, which is a good sign for underwriting and things like that, which is, I think, why even in the U.S., under 1% that are actually in foreclosure, that's good. That's a good, healthy economy. And that's a good sign of why, or a good indicator why Fannie Mae recently raised the debt-income ratio limits and things like that, because delinquency in a foreclosure standpoint is relatively low overall. Now here is a chart that is ranked by state. So,
Okay.
in delinquency ranked by state. Oops, sorry about
2%
that.
for North Dakota.
Yeah, North Dakota 2%. In Arizona, if you look at Arizona, Arizona's what'd you say, seventh or
8.
something like that?
We're
Eighth,
number 8.
number 8. There. So the state that has the most delinquencies, and we can look at California or whatever, but Mississippi has the most, 10.8%.
Dang. So it's 10% then Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana is not far
And then
behind.
New Jersey.
New Jersey,
Jersey.
yeah. I wonder, New Jersey, New York. I wonder if this is Rhode Island. If you look at these are pretty expensive markets. New York, New
Right.
Jersey, of course, pretty expensive
Right.
markets. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Well, I mean, California's one. So let's see where California is. So California, we can agree, is a very expensive market too.
Yeah, where's California? California. Did I miss it?
It's right below Arizona. No, it's right there, number 9.
Oh yeah, there you go. 3.4. They're tied with us. That's pretty good. That is pretty good
So-
for California.
I think maybe stuff happens in New York.
Stuff happens everywhere.
It's a city that never sleeps.
Stuff happens.
Maybe it needs a little more rest. I don't know. New York, you're looking tired. Oh, I never sleep. I'm in the city.
So
How was your sleep last night in New York City? Oh, it wasn't so good. I didn't get any sleep.
yeah, it wasn't so good, man. That neon light was just flashing in my eye. Couldn't
Right.
help it. Okay, so
Minute.
this one is pretty good. This is price per square foot. Average list price per square foot.
Average list price. Okay. Red
Yeah.
must be the single family detached, or what is the red?
No, this is the year before. So this is
Oh, okay.
2016's chart,
Okay.
2015, 2014 in the green, and then blue is ours. So we'll take a look here at Maricopa County.
Single family detached. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll look at single family. Take out some of the other
I think
indicators
we're
here.
fine. It's very similar. Yeah, but a little
Yeah,
higher.
it's a little higher. I think when I looked
Well,
at it
it's because
before.
I mean, a lot of the stuff is residential. I mean, when we get the other counties, they're a little more rural, I guess.
Yeah, and that's factoring REOs and everything in there. We'll just do normal because there really aren't too many REOs or even short sales that are
Well,
out
it
there.
used to be that you'd get a deal on an REO or a short sale. Remember, it used to be 80%,
Right,
probably 80% lower than the rest of the market. Now that they're pretty more
right.
stringent, it's not quite maybe
So average list is $218 a square foot.
and go straight down to where we were last year at this time.
206.
206, $12 more a square foot
Mm-hmm.
for a 2,000 square foot house. It's an extra $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that sounds about right, right? If you have a 2,000 square foot house, you
Mm-hmm.
made about 25,000 in equity.
Now some will say, well, what is this dip here? This dip. So I kind of analyzed it here a little bit, and then it kind of takes off here. So
Yeah, you
always
get
in
March
the
Madness.
yeah March Madness or whatever. So here, the kind of the high point here, week 17, what week 20, week 20, 21. That's kind of June-ish, right?
Yeah.
Area.
It's
So
4 weeks. Oh, it's four. Yeah, about May, I'd say. Beginning of
week
May.
21. There's 52 weeks in a year. So
Right.
yeah,
So 4 weeks per month.
yeah,
5 months is May. So yeah,
yeah.
you're right. June 1st, maybe end of May.
So it's right here. The humps that you see here are typical hot buying season, March Madness,
Right.
as Stefan says, and then it kind of tapers off, and then it starts to ramp back up through the beginning of the year, and so the end here on this 2016 kind of carries over to the beginning here of 2017,
Right.
if you
And I
will.
say this. I always tell my agents that if you can't find a buyer in March, if you don't have a deal in March, then maybe you're in the wrong profession. If you don't have a buyer looking to buy in the month of March, because these houses are closing, and then it gets a little hotter, and people, the snowbirds, the baseball fans, the
Yeah,
golfers, all this stuff that people are looking to buy are moving out of town, and the
yeah.
dip is there. But you can
Now,
see even on ours. I want to know. I want to make one more note on the 2017 before we get there. On
yeah,
ours, we kind of started leaning upwards a little earlier than traditionally. You see,
yeah,
I mean,
right here
no,
underneath
no,
me,
I'm talking right there specifically. If you go at what's the lowest price per square foot for the year? Week 30.
214. Yeah,
Yeah, well, week 30. So now, if you look at the rest of them, week 30 it still went down. Week 31, 32. Like the lowest probably for
yeah,
that is week 37.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Week 33.
So
Yeah.
we started going back up earlier than typically we do throughout the year.
Do you think looking at this chart here as a pattern, do you think that this may level off a little sooner next year? Or do you think that the
Um,
spacing between each chart is going to be, relatively the same? So in other words, this, the high point here next year might be, instead of 224, 236 or something like that.
Well, I think no. I think we're kind of seeing people are if the rates stay where they're at, people's affordability is where they're at right now. You
Hmm.
know, I think it'll probably taper off a little bit. I don't see us getting into the 240s on average.
Yeah, I don't either. I see it
I don't
kind of
see it
leveling
here.
off a little bit. Yeah, still going up, but at a more tempered pace, I think,
Yep.
is what I think. All right, well, that's pretty much all that we have for today, man. I mean, we're kind of out of time here. So I don't know if you want to look at another chart or not, but
Oh, yeah, that's good for now. I mean,
yeah, yeah, we're out of time.
does the people want it? Does the
Yeah,
people want it?
no,
I
we're out
don't
of
hear
time
anything, so
anyway. Yeah,
we'll give them a comment. Okay. All right.
can I hear you?
Hello. Give it a
Hello,
shot.
hello. Hey everyone, thanks for spending time with us here on Friday. We hope you enjoyed the show. We try to bring you that valuable content that you can actually use. Hopefully those numbers, some people like the numbers, some people don't care, but we kind of dig the numbers because it tells us what's going on so that we can better educate our our people
Well,
or
it
whatever. I don't want to
eliminates.
say.
Well, it eliminates other stuff, other concerns, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's the real concern, or actually, what is really happening? When you look at the numbers, you're able to, okay, this is normal. This isn't a freak accident. Look, it happens every year
Yeah.
this time.
The numbers don't lie, right? So don't believe everything you say out there. We try to bring you real, reliable content that you can actually use. So if you would like our page, we'd appreciate that. Share with your friends and family. Please reach out to us if you're looking to buy, sell, refinance property. Maybe you're going out this weekend to go look at some open houses. Give Stefan and his team a call. They'd love to show you around Phoenix and take you out to some homes.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
yeah, why not? That's what we do.
I got nothing else going on this weekend. No, I'm working this weekend. All right.
All right.
That's funny.
All right, cool. Well,
Thanks,
everyone
everybody.
have a great day, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.